What's going on, everyone? My name is Jack Southall and I'm here for my WWE Payback 2015 review. Now, before I get into this review, I just want to talk a little bit about my channel. I won't take too long, hopefully, because I know I can ramble on a little bit and all that. But, so here's the schedule for what's coming up. So, we've got the Extreme Rules video. No, not fucking Extreme Rules, Jesus. The Payback review that you're watching right now. Tomorrow is going to be Raw, of course. Wednesday, I might do a Tough Enough audition just because why the fuck not. And then Thursday, and by the way, I'm going by my Australian time. If there's anyone outside of Australia, I'm really sorry. And then on Thursday, I'll be reviewing the NXT special Unstoppable. I think it's on this Thursday, so I'll definitely be checking that out. That looks like a lot of fun to watch. But anyway, enough about my channel. Let's get into the actual show. So I did watch the pre-show, the kickoff, whatever. And so the first match was R-Truth versus Stardust, which came out of the blue because why the fuck not? I know they've been having matches a little bit on Raw and all that, of course, with R-Truth being scared of the spiders that Stardust put in his stupid little bag or whatever. This was a match, you know, nothing crazy happened, but R-Truth ended up getting the win, which, you know, Stardust should have won the match, in my opinion, because, yeah, I just think Stardust deserves a win on a pre-show. But, you know, like, I think R-Truth lost the match on Raw, I believe. But, you know, still, Stardust can still look strong in this feud, if this actually is a feud. But, yeah, R-Truth gets the win. To be honest, I didn't really give a shit. So then, the other match, the scheduled match for the pre-show, was the Ascension versus the Meta Powers, or the Mega, or the Omega, or however the fuck their name is. Macho Mandow, Damien Sandow, whatever the fuck you call him, and Curtis Axel Mania, whatever. But so Macho Mandow did come out dressed as the Macho Man Randy Savage, and we all know he's been doing the whole Axel Mania thing, Curtis Axel, and trying to rip off Hulk Hogan by ripping off his shirt and everything. He went fucking full out with this. You know, he had the bloody handlebars going on. He had the shirt. He went for the red and yellow bleach look going on. What do I think about this team? I don't really like it that much. Not a fan of it whatsoever. I know some people will find it funny. If you do, then whatever. But in my opinion, I don't really like it that much. I think Damien Sandow should be going by his own persona. I don't give a fuck what they do with Curtis Axel, but someone like Damien Sandow... By the way, why is he even in a tag team anyway? He just broke up with The Miz at WrestleMania, and now he's gone to a tag team? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But, yes, so, what was it? No, I had a thought in my head, but I just forgot about it. Anyway, the Ascension wins. I don't get that. You know, the Meta Powers should have won. The Ascension aren't really doing anything, but you know what? Ascension gets a win. Who gives a fuck about this match? And let's get to the actual show. And the opening contest was Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus. This was a pretty good opener, you know. A lot of good stuff happened because, you know, we've seen Ziggler and Sheamus battle countless times, and they've been pretty good for what they've done in the ring. Sheamus ended up winning this match. What they did was Ziggler got Sheamus into the corner, and he pulled up his trunks to show one of his butt cheeks and just rammed it in Sheamus' face. I know it sounds super gay, and it kind of was, but, that was revenge from him at Extreme Rules because he had to kiss Sheamus's ass even though he won. But anyway, Sheamus got the win eventually, and Ziggler ended up getting himself cut open really badly. So I hope Ziggler's going alright. I know he's probably got a couple of stitches in his head, whatever. But Sheamus gets the win, which I believe I predicted. Good for him. Next, it's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Tag Team Championships. The New Day, represented by Kofi Kingston and Big E, took on Cesaro and my boy Tyson Kidd. New Day is, like I've said before, is really growing on me. They did a really good job tonight. They were saying, stop feeling bad about you being fat and ugly and having no friends and be positive, They were semi-insulting the crowd a little bit, They were trying to say, be positive, but in the same way they're insulting the fans. So good heel work there. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd were rocking some purple trunks tonight. Really, really good tag team action. Probably my second favorite match of the night. I'll tell you about my favorite match of the night later on when I talk about the match of the night, of course. So I believe New Day got the first fall. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd got the first fall. They did a lot of cool spots. Cesaro threw one of the guys into the ropes, into the corner, and did the uppercut. A lot of cool stuff was shown here. But in the third fall, I love how Xavier Woods was just talking trash the entire match. Kofi rolled out of the ring. Xavier got into the ring. He pinned Cesaro a Kid. The ref, being the idiot that he is, does the pinfall and the New Day retains. I swear, that referee is friggin' stupid. Or extremely racist, like I said on Twitter. Really, really good match between these two teams. Of course, Big E and Kofi are great athletes. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are phenomenal. Really good tag team action. And of course, we've got some other teams coming up. And also, like, the New Day did a segment in the back. I can't remember where it was during the show, but they were drinking, like, glasses of milk out of, like, a wine glass. It was funny. And then one of the announcers come up, I think it was, like, Byron Saxton, and he's like, oh, guys, you have to defend your tag titles in the Elimination Chamber, and Biggie just spits out his milk. I was like, what the hell? Like, they're really, really cool. I think it's going to be like a triple threat tag team match. I mean, that would make sense. It'd be Kofi, Big E, Xavier, one of the two, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, and maybe the Ascension because they won tonight. Or maybe the Lucha Dragons. Where are the Lucha Dragons? I want to see those two get on. Or Primetime players. What are they doing? They're just cutting promos in the back. But anyway, congrats to the New Day. You did well. Even though you did have a screwy ending because of that shitty referee. Next up, we get Ryback versus Bray Wyatt. I tried to be optimistic through this feud and like, this could be good, but this match wasn't that good, Ryback went for a splash, It was okay. It was definitely not the greatest splash in the world, but, at least he gave it a go, and I gotta applaud Ryback for that. Bray Wyatt ended up getting the win, thank God. Wyatt needed that win. I don't know if this is going to be like a one-off thing. I think they're going to do like, other matches. They might be in the Elimination Chamber. They'll probably be in the Money in the Bank ladder match in 4 weeks' time. But, pretty dull match to be honest. And, at least Wyatt won. That's all good. Before I get into the I Quit match involving John Cena and Rusev for the United States Championship, I will talk about the stuff they announced for the WWE Network. The Stone Cold podcast is returning, which surprised me. I actually found out on the pre-show, but they talked about it after the Ryback Wyatt match. And he's going to have Paul Heyman on his podcast, which should be really, really good. You know, Stone Cold's one of those guys that, you know, he doesn't give a shit what the WWE tells him to do. And same with Paul Heyman, he doesn't give a shit. So, yeah, I hope they do some real, you know, shooting kind of interviews, even though they probably won't because, you know, WWE wants to be all corporate and happy and all that. But I still think it's going to be a very entertaining podcast, definitely. And also the announcement of a new show called Swerve. It's kind of like, you know, Punk'd and all those prank shows. It's going to be directed by Jeff Tremaine. Is that his name? Jeff Tremaine? He's the director of Jackass and Bad Grandpa. And I love Jackass. I think it's funny as shit. So that should be really interesting. I want to check that out. They showed, like, you know, Dolph Ziggler sitting on a chair and getting electrocuted and all that. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I hope it's better than that Jerry Springer show because all he did was just talk about old clips and it was like, boring. Anyway, on to the United States I Quit match for the United States Championship, of course. Cena versus Rusev. This was decent. This was pretty alright, you know. You know, Rusev and Cena, they ended up getting some blows on each other. I think Rusev put Cena through a table, or I'm trying to think of some of the spots. But what I remember most about this match, Rusev kept telling Lana to, you know, stay in the chair and all that. Of course she did. She didn't move. During the end bit, Rusev got the turnbuckle, ended up taking the whole thing out, and so one of the ropes was taken off. And he was going to hit Cena with it. But then Cena turned into Superman, hit the AA, or something like that. I think he got into the STF. He got the rope, and he choked Rusev out with it. By the way, Rusev sold really well. Like, every time he took a really big hit, or like when Cena speared Rusev through the barricade, did a WWE 13 moment, and like, when like Rusev was hitting the concrete, he was on the verge of fucking crying. Like, jeez, he's really good at like the facial expressions. But yeah. So how it ended, Cena's got the STF in. He's got like the rope around Rusev's mouth, or like near his neck, and he starts saying shit in Russian or Bulgarian or whatever. And then Lana, she gets really worried for Rusev. She doesn't want him to get hurt. And she's like, oh, ref, he quits. And, of course, Cena wins, lol. But, like, isn't the rule of this match for the loser to say, I quit? I think, like, tomorrow night on Raw, Rusev's going to get really pissed off at Lana. And he's going to say, oh, I didn't say I quit. You just screwed me over because, you know, I'm getting jealous of you and all that. But, you know, at the end, it was an alright match, you know. They did do some good spots. Ending was so fucking predictable, though. Like, but, you know, Cena wins. Hope he continues his US Open Challenge. I heard he's going to do one tomorrow night, so that should be good. I'd like to know who actually accepts his challenge. Maybe he could start a new feud with someone. What I heard is that Cena's going to face Sheamus at the August show when they come here in Australia. So he might potentially have a feud with Sheamus in the near future. That's just a possibility. But, yeah, decent match. Good on you, Rusev. Good on you, Cena. Next, we get to the Divas Tag Team match. The Bella Twins versus Naomi. What the fuck did I just say? Naomi and Tamina Snuka. That was weird. You know, just your typical Divas tag team match. It was alright. Bray ended up. She looked like she got really, really hurt. I think she landed on her head pretty badly. I think she like went for a roll or something, and she just landed right on her head. And because when she made the tag to like Nikki, she like rolled onto the outside, and her neck was feeling pretty bad. So Naomi and Tamina Snuka won, which I'm really happy about. This is possibly going to lead to a feud if they're going to do a match at Elimination Chamber or like Money in the Bank, somewhere like that, where Naomi does win the Divas Championship, and whenever Paige comes back, they can have a bit of a program, which would be awesome. But yeah, happy that Naomi and Tamina Snuka won. Good on them. I don't know what the future is going to be hold for the Bella Twins. Apparently, their contract's going to run out soon, so who knows with that. Next up, we have King Barrett. I believe it's official. King Barrett versus Neville. Yeah, good match. Neville is so awesome, dude. He is really, really amazing. Just the stuff he can do. He was, doing flips everywhere, and during the match, King Barrett rolls to the outside, and I thought they did a botch for a minute when, he couldn't make it to the ring, and the 10 count, and they just improvised. If that actually was, then they improvised fucking beautifully. But Barrett's like, stuff there, you peasant, Neville. And so he comes back in the ring, and he gets Barrett. Barrett beats up Neville for a little bit, but then Neville gets back and hits a fantastic red arrow. He hit that on point. So yeah, Neville, you're fucking awesome. Of course, Neville won the match by a count out. But yeah, I hope Neville goes really far. I don't know if he's going to be in the Intercontinental fucking chamber match, but there is a possibility that he could be in it. And if he wins, then that's really cool. Then now let's get to the main event. Fatal 4-way match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton versus Mr. Cocker's Fist, Roman Reigns, and the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose. If Rollins loses, Kane will no longer be the Director of Operations. Of course, Kane stuck his nose in this match, of course, which was really annoying. I was just saying, fuck off, Kane, every time he came in and pulled someone's leg. And of course, J&J Security were being really annoying. Overall, this match was just a great match. Really, really good stuff here. Of course, the bit everyone's going to talk about is the bit where everyone's on the outside, and then Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins start beating him down, and the crowd goes crazy because it's like, holy shit, is the Shield going to reunite? And then they go for a triple power bomb through the announce table, and so it looks like for a second you're like, the Shield's going to get back together, and they all did the thing, and the Shield is back together for 30 seconds. I hope I trolled you there if you didn't watch the pay-per-view. Probably not, but, Rollins doing this, and he's looking at Ambrose and Reigns, like, yeah, come on, guys, Shield, and all that, and then Reigns and Ambrose looks like, yeah, man, let's do it, and then they realize, yeah, Rollins is the guy that killed the Shield, and they go, nah, fuck yeah, and beat him up. And then, there's awesome spot, right after that, where Kane's on the announce table, and they beat up Rollins a bit, and then Reign and Ambrose does, not a triple powerbomb, but a double powerbomb, where Dean Ambrose picked up Rollins, and then Reigns actually did the powerbomb spot, and they put Rollins through Kane, through the announce table, but that didn't happen the first time. It was a bit of a botch. So that everyone's saying, one more time, and the guy's like, well, alright then, and they do it the second time, so I ended up breaking it. And then Reigns and Ambrose start smiling at each other, and they're looking in the ring, and they're like, you want to do this? You want to go? It's like, yeah, alright, let's go. And they ended up going into the ring and beat each other up a little bit, which was pretty cool. And then Randy got back in, and then Seth Rollins got in, and was like, Randy and Rollins for a bit, and then, Seth Rollins ends up winning the match by hitting the pedigree on Randy Orton, which was quite weird, but yeah, Seth Rollins ended up retaining the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I'm still waiting for the feud for Kane to begin. It's going to happen. But great match, great spots. All four guys looked awesome. Orton, and all the 3 former Shield members. They did great. I don't know where they're going to go with Rollins next. They shouldn't be continuing this feud with Orton. Maybe, I don't think they're going to feud with Ambrose. And with Reigns. The 4 guys will probably be in the Elimination Chamber with 2 other schmucks. But, you know, great match. That was definitely my match of the night, for sure. So, match of the night goes to the Fatal 4-Way match. What did I think of this pay-per-view overall? It did have a lot of great moments, like the tag match, Fatal 4-Way, of course. But the finishes were not all that good, you know. The ending to Cena vs. Rusev was extremely predictable, and, you know, Triple H, the pedigree spot at the end, you know, was a bit disappointing, but it was overall still a great match. So, yeah, those were the downfall, but upsides, you know, Ziggler vs. Overall, you know, most of these matches were pretty good. Wyatt vs. Ryback was not amazing, but, you know, what can you do? I'm going to give this pay-per-view I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I think that's a good score for it. Decent wrestling, great main event, but the finishes were not all that cool. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this review. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below your thoughts of this pay-per-view. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more great stuff from me. Including a Raw review tomorrow, Tough Enough audition, maybe, just maybe, and NXT Unstoppable review. So, yeah, make sure to check me out on Twitter and Instagram at JackamanLol31. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Raw, and I'm out in 3, 2, 1.